Good morning. I'm Dr. Monica McHenry, Professor of Speech-Language Pathology. It is my honor to serve as the Grand Marshal at the 165th Commencement Ceremony of New York Medical College. First, an announcement for everyone's safety. We are a large crowd. We assemble under the directions and authority of the Fire Marshal. We have hired multiple professional photographers to take pictures for you. The aisles and exit areas must remain clear. Do not enter the aisles or approach the stage during the program to take photographs or make videos with your personal devices. If anyone obstructs the aisles and engages in activity which violates the rules set down by the Fire Marshal, you will encounter the many public safety officers present who will escort you out of the concert hall. I thank you in advance for your cooperation. At this time, I ask that you silence your cell phones and electronic devices. Please rise for the national anthem and remain standing until after the invocation.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rocket's red glare, the balls bursting in air, it proved through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave?
Revered members of the clergy, Chancellor Halperin, deans, officers, and faculty, the candidates are in their places. The New York Medical College commencement is now in session. Rabbi Baruch Fogel will offer the invocation.
Ribon Kol HaOlamim, Master of the world, bless all who have assembled here this morning to take part in New York Medical College School of Health Science and Practice graduation ceremony for the class of 2024. Almighty God, you have placed us in this world and directed us to contribute to it for the betterment of society and the world. As the prophet Isaiah says, "For thus say the Lord that created the heavens, he is God. He formed the earth and made it. He established it. He created it not for nothingness." We and all those who are involved in this citadel of education are your agents in carrying out this divine directive. All of our graduates have heard this call and taken upon themselves the task of fulfilling your directive. Each in their respective fields have assumed the responsibility to make sure that they partner with you, dear God, to better this world. Armed with their degrees that they labor diligently for, they are ready to help others, educate others, protect others, all for the sake of making this world a better place for all. We pray to you, K'el Elyon, Almighty God, give strength, courage, and fortitude to these women and men who now move forward into the great world and begin their career of service to mankind. Bless them as they set out as your agents to serve mankind in all their places where they can make a difference in the lives of others. On this auspicious day, we pray to you that you shower your blessing upon our graduates and their dear ones, parents, spouses, children, mentors, and other dear ones who have been there for support and encouragement, who have helped them reach this milestone, who have sacrificed so much so that our students can persevere and succeed. May your abundant blessing always be showered on those who enter the halls of our institution. Bless the faculty, administration, staff, and all those who work so hard and with such dedication to ensure that this institution thrives and succeeds. New York Medical College and Turing University was created to serve, strengthen, and improve your world, dear God, your world with its rich diversity and ever-increasing potential for good. We pray that these accomplished students be given the opportunity to actualize that good. Dear God, we ask for your continued divine guidance so that we, together, can achieve that great potential. Amen.
Thank you, Rabbi Fogel. You may be seated. I am pleased to introduce Mr. Joseph D. Mark, Chairman of the Board of Trustees of New York Medical College.
Honored guests, members of the administration, faculty, family, and friends, I am pleased to welcome you. We appreciate the hospitality of our sister institution, State University of New York Purchase. To the graduates of the class of 2024, you have each demonstrated remarkable aptitude that will travel with you on a new journey in medicine. Your academic achievements, dedication, and desire to make the world a better place may bring you to some far-off wonderful places, but we hope you will always remain close in heart and in spirit to New York Medical College. On behalf of all of us at New York Medical College and Turing University, we wish you all the best for a lifetime of success, health, and happiness. The best way to predict the future of healthcare is to invent it ourselves. I know that many of you will participate in that invention.
Thank you, Mr. Mark. The student address will be given by Abby Kofsky, candidate for the degree Master of Public Health.
Good morning. Good morning to Chancellor Halperin, Dean Amler, Dr. McDonald, Board of Trustees, clergy, senior leadership, faculty, and staff. Welcome to our family and friends. And welcome, fellow graduates, the School of Health Sciences and Practice, class of 2024. We are 135 graduates in public health, physical therapy, and speech and language pathology. We are earning 4 degree types across 13 programs in 8 majors. The last time I wore a cap and gown was exactly 30 years ago, when I received my undergraduate degree in something completely unrelated to healthcare. This Master in Public Health is a career change for me, a fork in a zigzag road I never could have predicted. When I chose my first career, it was with almost no limitations, but also very few life experiences to guide me. The possibilities were endless, but nothing called out to me. I stumbled into a first career that I was proud of and well suited for, but it felt uninspiring. But life had other plans, as life often does, and I chose to leave the workforce and handle a string of personal and family health issues. These experiences were challenging, but the silver lining was that they exposed me to medicine and healthcare and led me to a calling just when I had finally stopped looking for one. Life is a series of events we can and can't control, and sometimes the unexpected leads us just where we need to go. My decision to go back to school in a new field at age 48 felt like jumping off a cliff. I assessed pros and cons, of course, but all the research in the world couldn't show me the future. The scary truth was that I couldn't know if it was the right choice until after I did it. This life-change decision was what I'll call an educated leap of faith, based in part on limited, imperfect evidence and in part on my gut. With more reflection, I've come to believe that trusting one's gut is much more than simple blind faith. Beneath that gut instinct, perhaps subconsciously, I needed to decide if I could handle whatever obstacles might come, and if I had safety nets to catch me if I needed them. To jump off that cliff, I needed to trust my own resilience. 4 years after applying to this program, I stand here with you ready to graduate. I can fill in the first few blanks of that uncertain future, and I'm astounded by how much has changed, even in the years we've been working toward these degrees. As I applied in spring 2020, a new coronavirus was suddenly the biggest public health threat in a century. Never before had so many people been so invested in current, specific, and accurate health information. There was no model for how to deploy directives on such a large scale, let alone in the age of internet, when anyone can find information supporting or disputing any argument. We were frustrated by how science unfolds in real time, with answers that were hesitant, unsure, and sometimes incorrect. We were confused by how any message, vetted, unvetted, evidence-based or not, can all look like truth depending on who you trust and what you want to believe. Public health leadership learned fast that this environment can be unforgiving because credibility, once lost, is much harder to re-earn. How we consume information has changed. The pandemic exposed this rather than caused it, and our fields will need to adjust to this new environment of news based on algorithms and echo chambers, opinions based on alignments rather than science, and the political and cultural tribalism that emerges when people hear different versions of the truth. Much of today's patient base is self-reliant and resourceful, but also overwhelmed by the burden of having too much information. For us as health professionals, this new world will require adaptation. We'll need more inclusive, two-way conversations about health, rather than top-down directives that are no longer accepted blindly. Broader access to information means more discretion around vetting information sources, and new issues like disinformation and fake news. But with these challenges also come opportunities. Yes, it's harder to encourage change rather than mandate it, but encouraging leads to buy-in, which results in more durable change. And while giving everyone a virtual microphone is hard to control, it also lets us hear from sources who would never have been heard from before and can lead to new forms of collaboration. AI may intensify these extremes as it makes research exponentially more powerful, with more serious risks, but the promise of incredible advancements. We don't know how this landscape will keep shifting. The only thing we can know and need to know is that we have the abilities and resources to handle whatever comes our way, even if we can't know what those things are. Trusting our own resilience is what will allow us to put ourselves out there and embrace those uncertainties instead of letting them hold us back. As for us here today, starting or continuing health careers at this pivotal moment in history, are we resilient enough to move forward without having all the answers? I believe we're more prepared than we realize because we can stay rooted in the fundamentals we've learned here at New York Medical College. We've learned to rely on the scientific method, not tribalism or identity politics. How many times have we been asked for evidence-based information, references, and citations? We've spent countless hours in PubMed. We've been taught to assess research critically because the scientific method works, but only when it's conducted correctly, fairly, and accurately. We've learned to trust the Enlightenment ideals of free speech and open minds. In a world that sometimes uses heckling, canceling, and doxing to control narratives, we've seen none of that here. The message is that science, health, and society advance only through a marketplace of ideas, civil discourse, debate, and dissent. And we've learned that people want to be trusted and empowered to make their own decisions. During our time here, this program navigated an onslaught of divisive issues on the political, legislative, and global stages, but not once did the administration, professors, or curriculum show adherence to one perspective. Their objective was to respect our autonomy and teach us how to think, not tell us what to think. These are all lessons we can take with us on our professional journeys. We will leave here today and go in 135 different directions. Some of us will be in positions that make broad, sweeping changes. Others will treat patients individually. All of us, however, will impact others through our behaviors and decisions every day. We get to choose how we shape the health culture around us. Remember the fundamentals we've learned here. Demonstrate these ideals in everything you do and expect them from others. For us personally, resilience is a trait any of us can have. It's a set of behaviors, thoughts, and actions that we learn and build throughout our lives. If life is a mix of things we can and can't control, then success and happiness won't always be about staying the course, but will sometimes be about rolling with it, reacting to curves, bouncing back from stumbles, and course correcting. About focusing on solutions instead of losses, having the perspective to look ahead, the flexibility to change, and the wisdom to learn from all of it. Being resilient means trusting the process. Yes, setbacks happen, but so do silver linings. Resilience is looking for those bright sides, even if you have to be creative to find them. And if resilience is about gratitude, because if you can handle the darker times, then you deserve to appreciate when the sun comes back out and soak that in too. Gratitude today is recognizing the friends and family who helped you achieve this. Who are the people who convinced you to take this on, who understood your need to make room in your life for this commitment, who supported you practically and emotionally, and who will cheer you onward tomorrow? Take time today to let them know how they helped you get here. My final reflection today is to embrace every step of your zigzag, unpredictable journey. Life paths aren't supposed to be straight lines. Even our missteps, dead ends, and losses lead us to other places. It all gets added to our experience banks and makes us broader, deeper, more colorful people. I wondered if a major change at 50 was too late. It's never too late. I thought doors would close as the years went on. Some do. I can no longer stay out all night or read fine print without glasses. And yes, choices do become more constrained by life and responsibility. But sometimes only life experience can show us doors we couldn't have imagined earlier. I spent years looking for a calling. I now understand that we need to keep finding our callings, large and small. Be open to them, follow them, see where they lead. Have the courage to add new callings, and have the self-awareness, humility, and confidence to let go of old ones that no longer suit your needs. People sometimes say that things work out the way they're supposed to. Instead, believe it's because you made it happen that way. If you can own and embrace all your choices, you'll build trust in yourself, trust you'll need the next time an opportunity arises, and you need to decide if this is one of those times when you'll make great gains only by embracing that uncertainty and jumping. But today, pause to soak this in and be proud. Congratulations, class of 2024. A new world of opportunity awaits, and we're ready.
Thank you, Abby. Dean Amler will introduce our 2024 commencement speaker.
Good morning and congratulations to our graduates. I'm Dr. Robert Ambler, Dean of the School of Health Sciences and Practice, and it's my honor to introduce our commencement speaker this morning, Dr. James McDonald, Commissioner of Health for the state of New York. Dr. McDonald, James V. McDonald, MD, MPH, was appointed New York State Commissioner of Health by Governor Kathy Hochul and confirmed by the State Senate on June 9th, 2023. Previously, Dr. McDonald served at the Rhode Island Department of Health since 2012. At Rhode Island, he was Interim Director of Health Chief Administrative Officer of the Board of Medical Licensure and Discipline, Medical Director for the COVID Unit for the Division of Healthcare Quality and Safety and the Drug Overdose Prevention Program, where he served on the Governor's Task Force on preventing overdose deaths. Dr. McDonald has faculty appointments at the Albany School of Public Health and Brown University School of Public Health. Dr. McDonald is board certified in pediatrics as well as in preventive medicine. He earned his MD from Loyola Stritch School of Medicine in Chicago, served a pediatric residency in the United States Navy, and was a preventive medicine resident at the State University of New York. He earned his MPH from the University of North Carolina in Chapel Hill and his Bachelor of Science in Biology from Siena College, where he received an honorary degree as their commencement speaker last week. His diverse career includes officership in the Navy, as well as private practice in rural areas where healthcare shortages exist. Dr. McDonald also served in the Navajo Nation for the Indian Health Service as Medical Director of Outpatient Medicine in Chinle, Arizona. Please join me in issuing a warm New York Medical College greeting to Dr. James McDonald, Commissioner of Health.
Yeah, thank you, Dr. Ambler. That's a lovely introduction. It is really an honor for me to be here with you today to celebrate, what really is a sacred, solemn, yet festive occasion, which is graduating. And, there's so much to really celebrate when you graduate. One of the things I just think about for people who are graduating this year is, a little bit about change, a little bit about adaptability, because you were part of the pandemic experience, yet you changed and adapted and really own that resilience. And I think that resilience is so important. As we emerge from the pandemic, we need resilient leaders. We need you, by the way. We need you in the workforce. And one of the things I want to just say to you is we do need you in the workforce. My colleagues who are graduating in physical therapy today, I've benefited from physical therapy myself, but when I think about the work I did on the overdose work in Rhode Island and the opioid prescribing problems we've had in our country, so often the answer wasn't another pill, it was a physical therapist who could not just treat your acute injury, help you with your chronic injury. Physical therapists, we need you, you do so much important work. And the speech and language pathologist, oh my goodness, we need you too. It's interesting when I think about birth to 3, that little population we call in the early intervention world, how often have I seen as a pediatrician, a speech therapist, helping that child learn to talk? And interesting, on a personal note, my son Noah has autism, but it was a speech therapist when I was on the reservation who said to me, I'm not making the progress I need. I think there's more going on here. And it was that speech therapist who helped direct us to really get the help we need to get that diagnosis of autism diagnosed. And the bioethicists in the group, perhaps the conscience of medicine, we need you in the workforce too, more than ever. As more difficult decisions come our way, helping us to keep that moral compass and those thoughts so critical. We desperately need you. And the biostatisticians in our group today, sometimes I say at the New York State Department of Health, it's data that diffuses dissension. One of the things I saw during the pandemic, and we're in Rhode Island, is we're getting criticized for our vaccine rollout, not being the fastest state in the country to roll out vaccine. It was the biostatisticians who produced the data for me that said, we may not be the fastest at rolling out vaccine, but we're one of the best in the country at keeping people out of the morgue and out of the hospital. Data does answer a lot of questions, and it really does put down a lot of critics. And for my epidemiologists in the group, I'm thrilled that you're joining us. We need you. Populations, understanding them, helping prevent exposures to risk factors is so critical. So we desperately need you, epidemiologists. And to my public health colleagues, I admire your courage, my friends. If you're joining public health after the pandemic, well, you have strength. And I admire that, I really do. It was a hard pandemic, by the way. A lot of us in public health, we worked every day that ends with Y, and we worked every hour of every day. It was a challenge. And it wasn't like people really thought that was all that great, by the way. But when you're in public health, you don't do it for fame or fortune, because I can promise you neither. But it is a very rewarding career. But one of the things I just want to talk about is work for just a minute. You know, there's a reason why they call it work. Sometimes work is hard. Sometimes work is a grind. Sometimes it's frustrating. Sometimes you don't agree with your boss. Work can be work. But I've been a pediatrician and a preventive medicine physician for a long time, 34 years. I found a way to find joy in my career throughout the whole time. And I found a way not just to find joy, but to maintain joy in my career. And I really want to just talk a little bit about that for you, because as you embark on your career, I want to just make sure you understand that I think it's really important to just not find joy, but maintain joy throughout your career. And the first concept I want to really just bring back to you is there's something you have all in common. If you've chosen the careers you've chosen, you're other-oriented. By being other-oriented, what I mean is you understand it's not about you. You've chosen professions where it's not about you, it's about helping others. And that's a wonderful thing. It's important to be other-oriented. But I think it's also important to know what your business is. If you don't know what your core business is, you're unlikely to succeed at it. But your core business, I mean, I looked at the professions you've joined. I would tell you, I understand your core business because you're in the goodness business. Your business is providing goodness wherever you can go. That is your core business, is providing goodness. Whatever your work is, you'll be providing goodness. One of the things I've noticed as state health commissioner is trying to keep people who are idealistic motivated, because sometimes we can't accomplish the goodness we wanted to. And I get older, I get less concerned about the order in which I accomplish goodness, but just making sure I'm accomplishing goodness every year. One of the things that I found helpful to me, though, was, and I hope you'll identify with this, is finding your passion. I'll share a little story about me, how I found my passion. My first major in college was photography. It may come as a bit of a surprise to you. Went to the Rochester Institute of Technology for a year and a half. But my first major was photo illustration. Then I moved to biomedical photographic communications. So you see a little bit of a trend there, biomedical photography. So one day, I'm in the restroom, washing my hands, getting ready to go into a class. I'm looking in the mirror, and I said to myself, I hate this. I don't want to do this. If I ever get lucky enough to get married and have kids, I'm going to say, do whatever you want to do in life, find a job you love. I just said, because I hate this. And I looked in the mirror and said, you know, I wanted to be a doctor for as long as I know, but everyone's discouraged me from doing this. I said, but I'm stuck in this path, and I just hate this. I looked in the mirror in the ripe old age of 19 and said, Jim, you're 19 years old. You can do anything you want? Probably not. Jim, you're probably going to fail. You're probably not going to succeed, but I'm going to try like heck to become a doctor. That's what I'm going to try to do. I found my passion in the most unlikely of places, in a men's room in Rochester, New York. It's interesting. College wasn't easy for me. I was the guy who was there every morning early. I left every night late. I studied every day. Medical school, not easy at all for me. I worked with people, I learned from others, it was interesting. But when I found my passion, one of the things I noticed about finding my passion in college and finding my passion in medical school was I was passionate about learning, and it turns out that is attractive to other people. People would help me without me asking. They would come up to me and offer me advice and study with me, and that was a wonderful thing. But when I found my passion, I became a positive, motivated person. That was really important because I was studying something that mattered to me. And when you find your passion, it's not always work. You know, my mom would say for the longest time, if you find a job you like, you never work a day in your life. It's interesting, as my mom struggles with Alzheimer's, even to this day, she doesn't know who I am, she's in a nursing home. There's two things I think are just very intriguing about what is left of my mom. One is, when I bring my dad to visit, she still says to my dad, I love you. Just fascinating to me, because I didn't hear that growing up. But this is something she says to my dad almost every day. That's it. The other thing that's in there is she has that phrase, if you find a job you like, you work every day. You know, if you find a job you like, you'll never work a day in your life. I think there's a lot to be said for finding a job you like, if you can do it. But find your passion. I think that's really important. The other thing I want to talk to you a little about after you find your passion is to find your purpose. I think it's really important to have a job with purpose. Oh, sometimes your purpose is outside work, sometimes it is work, sometimes it's both. I hope you can find a blend of both. But I think it's really important to find your purpose. You know, when I was in the Navy, my purpose was taking care of Navy babies, Marine Corps babies, Army babies, Air Force babies, and carrying out the mission of the Navy. But when it was my purpose to get to those underserved areas, whether it was Pennsylvania or Tennessee, it was just, my purpose was to provide best clinical care I could. When I worked on the Navajo reservation, my purpose was not just to run an outpatient department, but listen to the Navajo, because often what I found when I worked with the Navajo was they had great ideas, they just couldn't translate it to the people who came to work. And it was a matter of just listening to the Navajo and like, how do we take your great idea and operationalize it? Because sometimes there's just this barrier. But that was my purpose. And work with purpose is a blessed thing. I'm now the 18th commissioner of the New York State Department of Health. My purpose is a little different now, right? And it's a privilege to have a purpose as grand as running the New York State Department of Health. We're one of the largest health departments on the planet. Our budget is $101 billion. We're 43% of the state budget. We're a big department. I'm going to share with you some core concepts about the health department so we have a common understanding. One of the things my leadership team and I did recently was we defined the word health for each other. Now that might seem like an odd exercise, defining the word health, but I find a lot of times when you talk to people about certain concepts that they don't have a common understanding, you have misunderstandings. So when we talk about health at the New York State Department of Health, what we're talking about is an optimal state of physical, mental, and social well-being. By the way, I like definitions that are simple and easy to remember. I didn't even have to look at my notes for that one, right? So an optimal state of physical, mental, and social well-being, more important now than it ever was. That's part of my purpose, is helping the state achieve health. Another part of my purpose, though, is helping the state achieve health equity. There's a term we use all the time in public health, health equity, but I'm not sure we have a common understanding of health equity. Some people look at it and say, I think it's a good thing. Other people look at it and say, I don't really know what it is, but I should probably, believe in it. And then there are other people like, I don't know about that. But when we talk about health equity at the New York State Department of Health, really our simple definition is this: is our health equity work, by the way, is intentional. If we're not intentional about health equity, it doesn't happen. But when we are at the New York State Department, we recognize, and this is how we define it, not everyone has the same starting point in life. Not everyone has the same advantages. Yet everyone deserves a fair and just opportunity for the best health outcomes. Everyone deserves a fair and just opportunity for the best health outcomes. It's really important that we have that concept. And some of this is fueled by social determinants of health. When I talk about social determinants of health, I'm talking about things that give some people advantages in life, some people disadvantages. But it turns out we really don't need to compete over this stuff, right? I think we'd all agree everyone deserves a safe neighborhood. Everyone deserves a good education. Everyone deserves a way to get from back and forth to work. Everyone deserves economic opportunity. These are not controversial concepts. But the social determinants of health is really a lot of what shapes people's outcomes in life. What we do in our exam rooms, our emergency rooms, our operating rooms are important. But we also know that life expectancy is so influenced by what occurs outside of these important rooms. Another thing we talk a lot about at the New York State Department of Health is eliminating health disparities. In other words, we shouldn't see groups of people have different health outcomes based on belonging to a group, right? In other words, I think we'd all agree, like, you shouldn't see different outcomes for cancer survival or for asthma because someone's race, ethnicity, age, ability, first language, immigration status. There's some of the variables that we think about, but like we should all be able to achieve in a civilized culture where we don't see health disparities. These are really important concepts. And one of the things I want to bring to you is that when we think about health equity, we all benefit. I don't know that that's obvious to people, but when we achieve health equity, the whole population benefits. Let me give a few examples. I told you our budget's $101 billion. Part of that is because we administer Medicaid and we administer the Affordable Care Act in New York State. So a lot of our budget is providing direct patient care. But when we provide direct patient care to people, we allow people to have access to care by offering one of our many health insurance products. They get access to care, people get the care they need, therefore have better outcomes, therefore they can work, therefore they can contribute to our culture. Hospitals get paid, healthcare providers get paid. Everybody benefits by us achieving health equity in that regard. There's other spaces where we help people achieve health equity. The New York State Department of Health has the AIDS Institute. We've been operating drug user health hubs for many decades. But I think you'd all agree our syringe exchange programs are beneficial to everybody because people aren't transmitting disease from one person to the other. We're helping people who have opioid use disorder find a path towards treatment with medication-assisted treatment. We're helping people get in and stay into recovery so they can get back to work. Health equity, achieving health equity benefits everyone. These are just concepts that are really important and a really important part of my purpose. So when I get up in the morning, get to go to work, and I do mean get to go to work, I actually think that's an important concept because I don't have to go to work, I get to go to work. Because I get to go to work with a purpose that's aligned with my passion. So my colleagues, as you graduate today and you go to your work, whether you're helping people walk and talk, whether you're helping people prevent problems, whether you're finding data that shows us where we're going, I hope you recognize the power of passion that is yours to find. I hope you find a purpose in your work and realize it's often not about you, it's about your other-oriented mission. That will endure you throughout your career. And as I close my time with you today, as a State Health Commissioner, I wish you all an optimal sense of physical, mental, and social well-being. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Dr. McDonald. I call upon Dr. Robert W. Ambler, Dean of the School of Health Sciences and Practice, to present his class of 2024.
Good morning again. Candidates for the degrees in the School of Health Sciences and Practice, please rise. Chancellor Halpern, I have the honor of presenting the candidates for the degrees Master of Science in Speech Language Pathology, Doctor of Physical Therapy, Master of Public Health, and Doctor of Public Health. Please remain standing while Chancellor Halpern comes to the podium to confer the degrees.
Upon the recommendation of the faculty of the School of Health Sciences and Practice, and by virtue of the authority vested in me by the Board of Trustees of New York Medical College and the Board of Regents of the University of the State of New York, I confer upon the class of 2024 the following degrees: the degree Master of Science in Speech Language Pathology, the degree Doctor of Physical Therapy, the degree Master of Public Health, and the degree Doctor of Public Health. Congratulations, graduates. You may be seated.
Daniela Ashman. Haley Bagnaro. Kelsey Buns. Ellen Wenjin Tsai. Megan Callahan Scarsilla. Juliana Calagero. Mina Cho. Jenna Coladarsi. Holly Cugini. Olivia DiBiase. Jillian Doherty. Hudina El Sayed. Mushira El Sayed. Mary Galgano. Ava Gallo. Jarina Harmon. Caitlin Yench. Callie Johansson. Wendy Calver. Nicole Knuten. Alicia Lawrence. Anastasia Lysenko. Rachel Mack. Harper Mehta. Alisa Maldonado. Yannick Morris. Taylor Mosey. Julia Medachkowski. Ariana Rich. Nadine Sison. Emma Stover. Tatiana Tavares. Michaela Choriani. Isabella Vargas. Stephanie White.
Jeffrey Olufemi Alagun. Anas Ashrawi. Baldwin Araujo. Devante Araujo. Flor Aliarova. Sarah Bonacia. Noel Capuno. Yahya Shaheen. Joshua Chi. Victoria Corrado. Dean Cucurulo. Natasha Darawala. Lauren Durham. Alex Elliger. Razel Erdvin. Caitlin Flippin. Jacqueline Grant. Christopher Gusky. Jonathan Halbel. Nazreen Jaberhill. Kaylani Jones. Marissa Lamery. Mengyao Lu. Sarah McKay. Nicholas Martin. Richard Martucci. Michael McWilliams. Noah Odell. Christian Orlando. Justin Park. Nicholas Pellegrino. Abigail Rosenberg. Christina Schreff. Carissa Stockdale. Mackenzie Swanson. Abelardo Termelo. Jonathan Torres Enriquez. Gian Villarosa. Stephanie Watson. Hannah Weaver. Lindsay Willman. Derek Yang. Xinyu Yang. Daniel Zukowski.
William Edison Capistrano. Abby Kofsky. William Hart, Jr. Nidhi Patel. Christine Drexel. Shumin Lee. Mintu Matthew. Desiree Murphy. Dara Moria Patel. Adriana Powers. Adetuju Sadiq Adelani. Renad Al-Harbi. Amanda Muth. Manav Manishbhai Patel. Dorina Burse. Stephanie Morphy. Jaskunwar Singh. Maribel Vargas. Soleil White. Ahmad Abdel Aziz. Doris Gyamfi. Christine Lay. Grace Longhi and Company. Samuel Prince. Connie Rodriguez. Margaret Watson. And now the DRPH graduates. Sahar Abdul Jawad. Allison Asher. Ashley Corey.
Tunisia Mitchell. Jared Shapiro.
Chancellor Halperin will conclude with the charge to the graduates.
May I offer the graduates a chance to recognize your parents, your family, and your friends who have brought you to this special day. May I suggest that you rise, turn to your family, and offer them your thanks with some applause. You may all be seated again. Ladies and gentlemen, commencement exercises such as you've just witnessed do not just happen. They are the result of a year's worth of hard work by a group of people. I'd like to acknowledge some of them. Thank you to Eileen Romero and the registrar's staff for making all of those diplomas appear on time and in order. Behind the curtain, you do not see Michael Cotter and the other members of the information technology staff. They make sure that everything from the sound system to the website work. I want to thank Chief of Public Safety Robert Lancia and the officers of public safety for keeping us all safe today. Our gratitude to Professor Jan Galipter and the members of the Faculty Committee on Commencement. And you certainly cannot see, but somewhere in this room with a walkie-talkie on her hip is the Chief of Commencement Exercise Organizing Committee, Vilma Bordenaro, and her team. Thank you. I want to finally, ladies and gentlemen and graduates, thank you. I have spent a lot of time in the last month, like anyone with a job of university or college chancellor or president or rector, worrying about American college campuses and commencement. But I've worked here for 12 years, and I said to myself, if there is any college that can still show America how to conduct a dignified, orderly commencement, it's New York Medical College. You've proven me right. Thank you. This college was founded in 1860. It is a 164-year-old community of scholars that exists for the generation and conservation and dissemination of knowledge about the causes, prevention, and treatment of human disease and disability. The college has changed with the times while remaining true to its core values of our founder, William Cullen Bryant. We know where he stood in the 1850s free all enslaved people and grant them all full voting rights, oppose what he perceived as the medical, economic, and social enslavement of alcoholism, grant women the vote, allow workers to form trade unions and collectively bargain with management, and if necessary, strike. Behind the 42nd Street Library in Manhattan is Bryant Park, named for our founder. You'll find a large statue of him there. When he established this college, it was in his time and remains in our time a bastion against bigotry in health science, education, and health care, and a defender of respect for all. Now, a person with a job like mine, in giving a charge to graduates like you, would now find it easiest to slip into a mixture of concluding high-sounding prose and the delicate suggestion that when you become alumni, you start making donations. But I'm a school teacher, and this is my last chance to be a school teacher for you. And there is, in my charge to you this morning, the serious issue I want to talk with you about. I got very ill in October with a balance disorder, and then I had a heart attack. And I have 2 family members with long-standing severe chronic diseases, ulcerative colitis for one and multiple sclerosis for another. And in the last few months, I have personally learned a great deal about medicine and science and healthcare, both by being a patient and being a family member of patients. And I've learned that in some areas, enormous progress has been made in biomedical science and clinical care. When I was a medical student, I probably would have died. If I had survived, I would have been in the hospital at bed rest for weeks. There were no mechanical devices to open obstructed blood vessels. The medications available were a shadow of what they are now. In contrast, I walked out of the hospital 48 hours after I was carried into it, having had 2 cardiac catheterizations and a cardiac ultrasound in the interim. I have, on the other hand, learned that in other areas, no real progress has been made. There are enormous gaps in our biomedical knowledge. In my very personal experience in the management of balance disorders, and I've certainly personally experienced the growing gap between delivering medical technology and healthcare providers demonstrating a modicum of concern and empathy. For those of you graduating today who will choose to devote yourselves to biostatistics and research, a great deal depends on you. It is your job to make biomedical science and its deliverables better for our grandchildren than it is for us. Please work very hard. The world is counting on you for the generation of new knowledge. For those of you who are graduating today who will be public health workers, you are taking your place in the front lines of the defense of humankind against disease and disability magnified by poverty, ignorance, bigotry, and sometimes military or police conflict. Dr. McDonald made it clear to you, it is a thin line of defense, and the recent pandemic has taught us how permeable that line is. You will face the problem that some people think that the plural of the word anecdote is data. It is not. Follow the science, common decency, and good sense. Some of you will have careers which will abut medical ethics. You will face the battle of balancing eternal truths against changing technology and situations. Stay true to the fundamental respect of the rights and the agency of people. For those of you graduating today who will be physical therapy and speech-language pathology clinicians, remember that patients are perishable. Yes, deliver technology and slow down. Talk to your patients. Develop rapport. Remember that the word clinical shares an etymology with words like incline and decline and recline. A clinic, from the Greek, is a place where someone lies down and a second person in a white coat and a position of power and authority stands over them. That's what a clinic is. And remember, it is the nature of life that you will close your eyes and you will open your eyes and time will have passed and you will be like me. You'll be the person lying down and someone in a white coat will be standing over you. So care for people as you would want to be cared for. And remember that the secret of caring for the patient is to care for the patient. Some of you graduating will find yourselves in the biomedical device and/or pharmaceutical industries. So remember, it's about patience and ethical conduct first, profits are secondary. Bring us products that will make tomorrow better than today. The faculty of the college has sought ardently to educate. You have sought ardently to learn. We arrive at this day together in partnership. We are proud of what we have jointly achieved. While you have been with us, we have striven to impart both values and knowledge, recognizing that true wisdom only occurs at the confluence of knowledge and values. We confidently send you forth prepared for the challenges posed by your respective disciplines. As you go forward, I charge you to commit yourselves to the highest professional and ethical standards, to render to all people the dignity that is rightfully theirs, to remember that you are stewards of the connected human family, and to be compassionate to those in need. And remember with pride, New York Medical College, as we will proudly remember you. Godspeed on your journey, graduates of the college.
Revered members of the clergy, Chancellor Halperin, deans, faculty, distinguished guests, graduates, parents, and friends, the 165th commencement of New York Medical College is concluded. If you're keeping track, that's yes, 165th in 164 years. We had a double commencement in 1975. Please remain in your seats until the stage party, faculty, and graduates have completed the recessional. Congratulations and best wishes. Have a wonderful afternoon.
Thank you.